Hi, I'm Sam Brown, and this is Campaign Support. All right, I got a question from Shannon. She says, where does Sam Brown stand on abortion? I heard he's pro-life. Is that true? Look, I get asked this question a lot because it's the only issue Jackie Rosen wants to talk about. She spent the last 6 months telling lie after lie about where I stand and what the law actually says. The fact is, I am pro-life, but I do believe in exceptions for rape, incest, and threat to the life of a mother. But I do believe that Nevadans have the right to choose our own laws. In fact, I've committed to voters as well as Republican senators back in D.C. that I will not vote for a national abortion ban. And that is my commitment and my promise to you as Nevadans. See, I believe that we as voters should set the law around abortion. And in fact, our law has been in place for over 30 years. And no politician can change that. However, I am concerned that the issue, when discussed in a partisan way, is missing one of the important points. And that is that women who have an unexpected or unplanned pregnancy are oftentimes in a really difficult situation. And when we approach it with just political solutions, we're missing an opportunity to love and to take care of women who really need folks to come alongside them and support them. So I want to see more options to help women and families in those tough spots. All right, I've got a question here from Danny. Does Sam Brown really want to dump nuclear waste in Nevada? The answer is no. No. Fact of the matter is, unlike most politicians, I've done the research. In fact, I've spoken with experts, real experts, like nuclear scientists, not just other politicians. And they've told me that this project is dead. In fact, as the law was written, there's no way for it to be revived. And I agree with these experts. Look, we do need to have a conversation about America's energy future, and it should include clean energy like geothermal. And yes, nuclear. But Nevada can't and shouldn't be a dumping ground for spent nuclear fuel. All right, I've got a really important question here from Anna. Social Security is a lifeline for many, but I heard it might go away. We need to protect our seniors. Anna, I totally agree. I'm going to take it one step further. These benefits shouldn't be taxed. Protecting Social Security and Medicare is important to me, and I'll tell you why. I have actually been the benefactor of Social Security and Medicare after I was medically retired from the military. Social Security and Medicare were there for me when I needed it most, as I was transitioning from my care to building a family and ultimately pursuing the American dream as an entrepreneur. The fact of the matter is, you paid for it, you earned it, and you should keep it. We've got to make sure that we have a healthy workforce and that people are able to pay into it and that we're creating good jobs. Because at the end of the day, when you do the right things, you ought to be able to retire with dignity. We need to have better economic policies, though, that strengthen the value of every dollar that we've put in and that we get out of these programs, not weaken it. Unfortunately, Jackie Rosen's voted for huge spending packages that have increased inflation and has driven prices up. The value of the dollar is diminished, and folks like one of my neighbors who's already retired and has Social Security has actually had to go back to work part-time. That's not fair, and I will not stand by and allow other politicians to do that to you. All right, next question from Seth. Why does Sam Brown look the way he does? Heard he's a burn survivor or a Sith Lord, LOL. I get asked this a lot, actually. With this face, it makes sense. Let me set the record straight. I'm both. But, look, the truth is, yeah, I served our country in uniform. I was in Afghanistan, and we got attacked. My vehicle drove a roadside bomb, and I was burned, and that began a long process of recovery that resulted in me looking like this. And while my scars are really visible, the other thing is, I look a lot better now than I used to. I attribute that to a lot of plastic surgery. Here's the deeper truth, though. We all have scars, whether they're external or internal. And what I've learned is we shouldn't hide our scars. Because whenever we show our scars with pride and other people can see and relate to some of our suffering, it gives them hope and encouragement that they can deal with their scars as well. It's not something we ought to hide. It's something we ought to be proud of. And that's why you won't see me wearing a mask. Next question from Jose. Housing is insane. When will we get a plan that actually makes it affordable to live here? Jose, you're not alone. I hear this all the time. In fact, if I had to buy my house again today that I bought 6 years ago, I couldn't afford it. And I know there's a lot of people in that same position. You might be thinking, Sam lives in some mansion somewhere. The truth of the matter is, I live in a home about 1,200 square feet. Amy and I have got 3 kids. There's 5 of us in a 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath home. Yep, that means we share 1 shower. And we've got 2 dogs too. But despite the modest size of our home, I couldn't afford it. So what do we need to do to make homes more affordable again, and for many of us to be able to achieve that part of the American dream? Here's what we can do. We can start with cutting regulations. Right now, regulations add so much to the cost of building. If we cut those regulations, prices will come down. But we also have a problem that there's not enough land to develop. And so with less land and fewer homes built and more people moving here, the prices are just going to go up. When we have more homes than we do people looking for homes, the prices are going to come down. So we need Congress to act to release some of that federal land back to the state for development so we can have more homes. Jackie Rosen has said that she doesn't believe that the state can manage its own land. I believe the state can manage the land and that the federal government should return more of it so that we can address this issue in a common sense way. Look, it's not fair that too many people can't afford a home. It's not fair that rents are going up as well because of this housing crunch. So let's change who's in leadership. We'll change the policies and we'll make housing more affordable. All right, Dominique's got a really tough question here. Why are my grocery prices so high if Jackie Rosen says the economy is doing great? Frustrating. Dominique, I know this is beyond frustrating. Politicians like Jackie Rosen just don't get it, though. They want to tell us everything is great, but whenever we go to buy groceries, we know it's not. In fact, we've had to change the way that we buy our groceries, and the things that we used to buy are now seldom bought. But look, here's the truth. While politicians are telling you to blame grocery stores, they're claiming that they're gouging us. It's the politicians' fault that created inflation. In fact, family-run grocery stores, like right here in the valley, Mariana's, employs hundreds of people with good-paying jobs, and they feed thousands of families. They've done so for over 30 years. And the audacity of Jackie Rosen to blame grocery stores like Mariana's is just sickening. It's their policies that have led to these higher prices. Whenever our energy costs have gone up, yes, because of the things they've prioritized, that goes into the cost of everything that we buy out of the grocery store. When our utility bills go up, which they have, in fact, they've doubled in almost the last year, all of those costs go into the groceries. And so it's the politicians' fault. It's Jackie Rosen's fault that our grocery prices are higher. But we can make things better, and we especially need to make sure that we're supporting our locally owned great family stores and pillars of the community like Mariana's.